Roughly a dozen years ago, we had a group of guys over on the forums at Don Fogg's talking about doing a smelt and creating steel directly from ore. It wasn't something that here in the shop we had done or were familiar with, but we had the space to do it and the interest. And we put together this event along with Jesus Hernandez, a handful of other guys, Jeff Pringle, and it's something that has really been fantastic. This group of amazing smiths comes together. We create the steel, make blades from it here. Really, everyone is spreading the wealth of knowledge that they have, that they've accumulated over the years, and mixing it in. One of those things that just kind of has grown to the point where we're more of an invitational only now. But it's a core group of people. We bring in a few new people each year and just kind of push that knowledge into the new guys, and they spread it when they get home. Guys come from all over the world. We have regular travelers from the West Coast and all over the Midwest of the United States. Usually 60 to 80 people here over the course of the weekend, and it's a pretty amazing event. One of the longest projects that we've had here at Baltimore Knife and with Fire and Brimstone has been the 4B Nazel. That hammer came in with some serious problems. We initially ran it and it created even more problems. The entire machine was completely broken down and rebuilt, mostly by the gentleman at the Streetcar Museum here in Baltimore. Once we got the entire machine reassembled, we didn't have enough power here to run it. This year, in 2019, is the first year we've been able to run this hammer, and it is absolutely amazing.
Hi, I'm Deker, and I'm a knife maker and maker of lots of pattern welded steel. This year I'm working on a project. I just decided to have a little fun and do some really wide, thin Damascus sheet to give to another artist to let her do something amazing with. And I just figured this was a good time to get to play with machines and learn a few things and have a good time making something I usually can't get to do. We've been doing this Fire and Brimstone thing for over 10 years now. I've been here every year, and most of that time the Nazel 4B has been sitting there, the quiet giant, waiting to do something, and I've been waiting every year. Is the hammer gonna run? Is the hammer gonna run? Is the hammer gonna run? And finally this year we were able to get it fired up, and I'm excited and grateful that I was the first guy to get to take a pattern welded billet and run it under that hammer after bugging everybody here for so long about, is it running yet? Is it running yet? That they made the time for me to do it. I'm just real grateful for. This morning I'm getting ready to finish the last weld and getting stuff ready to go to the rolling mill so that we can actually get stuff down to really thin sheet. The plan to do that here was because the mill here is wider and I can get the material size I need. So we're going to get stuff layered up and finished and then feed it through and see how long it stretches out and how much material we get. I'm not just a knife maker. I make a lot of pattern welded or damascus steel. I do that for a lot of people, from a single knife maker that needs their first billet to companies building 100 damascus pistols. That's kind of the work I love to do and the things I enjoy doing. If you're anywhere in that range and need something, www.dekerknives.com. It's D-E-K-E-R, there's no C. And yeah, give a shout. I'm willing to do all kinds of fun stuff if the project is cool. Hopefully we'll see y'all here next year and have some other new wacky fun thing to be working on.
One of the main attractions at this event is creating this steel from ore, some manner of ore that we'll work with. For the last couple of years, Mark Green has been the primary person doing the smelt in tall to tar to create steel. Jeff Pringle primarily focuses on crucible steel, and this weekend alone he actually did 7 runs, so we have 7 pucks of wootz that we'll be able to work with in the future.
On the hammer? Yeah. Really? Alright, if it did it for me, I'd have it taken out. That's good.
Hey there, I'm Mark Green. I'm a smelter, sword maker, and a little bit of everything kind of guy. I come here to Fire and Brimstone every year and do a smelt of some kind. We do tall stacks and Catalane and you name it. Maybe next year we'll do a bowl. We'll go way back in the BC days and do like a bowl smelt, see what we can get out of that. I know a lot of people are trying to do that. It's very difficult, so we'll work on that for sure. Love these guys to death. This has been my, I don't know, 10th, 12th year, I forgot. But had a lot of successful blooming going on here. Miss some of my friends that are overseas and usually here with us, but have a great time every year. These guys are wonderful. If you get kind of in the group, come, because you can't beat it. This year, our stack has survived from last year, and we put it to use again. We just patched it up a little bit. What I do is I smelt iron ore all the way from rocks into metal that we can use as swords and knives and axes and whatever else. This year we use what's called bloom fluff, which is all the bits and pieces that fall off of the bloom when you're birthing it, and we gather that all up with a magnet, and basically anything that sticks to a magnet we gather up, we crush it up again, and then we mag clean it again, and then we put it in a bucket, and when we have about 35 or 40 pounds we usually will run that through the stack again, and it almost always makes absolutely beautiful high carbon blade steel because it's already been reduced, so it's kind of an Arushigane run in a way. And so that's what we did this year. We actually added 30% of the New York magnetite into that and kind of did a combination just as an experiment. And what we do is, about every 8 minutes we add another 2 pounds of ore and 3 pounds of charcoal, and we do that for about 3.5 hours until we feel that we're full or we run out of ore, and then we get down and open the door below the bloom, and it's called bloom birthing. It's all about setting up your bloomery stack on a plinth. Go to Lee Sauter's website and look that up, because if you want to keep your stacks alive, there's absolutely no other way to do it, really. It's very difficult unless you make that plinth underneath your bloomery. And that way you can keep your stack alive 6, 7, 10, 15 smelts if you want to, if you really get good and careful at it. But we made yesterday we made about 13.5 pounds of mixed carbon, pretty high carbon in some spots, and then about the other half was kind of mixed low carbon and iron, out of only 35 pounds of this bloom fluff and ore combination. So it's super rich. We had some really pretty fun slag taps that Matt may show you later, and that's about what we did. I'm going to take half of that home and make something out of half, because I make blooms here every year, but I never see any pictures of the guys who take them home and make anything out of them. So I'm gonna take it home because I will make stuff out of it right away.
There's the bloom.
Your bloom sits in a bowl of slag. The slag helps move the iron into the bloom. And slag is all the silicants that melt. Whereas the iron in a bloomery stack never really melts. It kind of gets like kind of jello-y and comes down in it. And it all wants to kind of cluster there right in front of the tuyer and gather together. And so the slag helps feed all that iron into that bloom. So when it starts messing with your tuyer, which is your air supply, you have to tap out that slag, otherwise your air supply gets messed up and it'll start affecting your bloom. So every once in a while when that slag gets to that certain level, you got to tap off that slag, and what you do is you go in kind of in front, a little bit low on the bloom, and you tap to the side of the bloom and you allow some of that slag, which looks like lava basically, to flow out of there. And it helps just keep your bloom alive, because the last thing you want to do is have your air get shut down, because you got about 30 seconds to live after that happens, or your bloom is shut down.
March in Maryland is always a real challenge weather-wise. We've had anything from 2 feet of snow to beautiful 75-degree weather. This year we were expecting it to be completely clear over the weekend, and in comes hail and snow. It was absolutely ridiculous right as we're setting up for food.
Hi, my name is Doug Sword, and I come here to Fire and Brimstone for about the past 10 years, and I like to cook. I've enjoyed cooking here for quite some time. Don't have a business. I do it for entertainment. I do it on my terms, and I very much enjoy it. Barbecued bacon. I've been making brisket for a number of years at this. This is the first time I've actually come to this event without brisket. Kind of earned a reputation. Matt starts joking around with the name of this as Fire and Brisket rather than Fire and Brimstone. I hope people weren't disappointed. We cooked ribs this time, a little bit of barbecue bacon.
We weren't disappointed.
I like to think of food as fireworks, something that's transient that you can enjoy and share with people in a short period of time, but leaves a lasting memory and something to look forward to. I enjoy sharing with people who have a passion for what they do. I enjoy cooking. I have a passion for that. People here, we have passionate metal workers, leather workers, woodworkers, people that enjoy what they do and sharing it with other people. I enjoy sharing how to cook with people. I couldn't have become the cook that I am without other people who have helped me along. And so it's a congenial atmosphere here where people can share the things they know how to do with people that are interested and motivated to learn. And I just really enjoy that environment.
Hey, I'm Jeff Pringle. I've been smelting iron since 1999, and somewhere along the way I started making wootz steel, which is small batch crucible steel, renowned for sword material. And ever since Fire and Brimstone began, I've been coming here and teaching other people how to do it. You can make steel in your backyard quite easily. The system I've devised is a way that you can make a furnace out of Innswall or K-wall in 20 minutes from under $100 worth of materials, and you can get to melting steel temperatures. Starting materials are either iron ore or existing metal like wrought iron and cast iron. And when you get the mix right, you have high carbon, ultra high carbon steel of 1.5 or so carbon. We spark test these steels to determine the level of carbon in them, and you can guesstimate the amount of carbon in the ingot by the character of the spark. Back before the Industrial Revolution, even as long ago as 2,000 years ago, in Turkmenistan and Persia and India, Sri Lanka, they had better ceramic technology than everybody else, I presume, because instead of refining their smelted iron by folding it like the Japanese or the Europeans, they would take these crucibles and melt it. And so instead of squeezing out the impurities, if you get the whole thing liquid, the impurities float because the specific gravity of slag is much less than that of steel.
With it properly slicked up, it's that easy to punch a line of stitches. This is... Hello, I'm Brett Smith. I operate T-Star Leather. I've been doing custom leather work for about 20 years now, and I just really enjoy what I do. About 20 years ago, I started working at a Western theme park, and I needed a holster rig. So I started building some holsters for myself. At the same time, I started collecting handmade knives and building sheaths. And people saw the leather I was wearing and asked where I got it. And the next thing I know, I'm building custom sheaths and holsters for all kinds of people. And it led into me doing leather work full time. It's been a fantastic journey. Something, the craft tool pro from Tandy. It does a really fantastic job for $25. So I've been coming to Fire and Brimstone here for about 8 years, and I first came to show and sell the leather goods I make, aprons, knife sheaths, stuff like that. But over time I've gotten into teaching the guys here how to do some of the things I do, helping them learn how to carve, tool, and build leather goods for themselves. And the teaching is some of the funnest stuff that I do while I'm here. And of course, watching the demonstrations. Multiple corners, impressions. So when I first came here, I had an apron design that went pretty well, but with a little bit of input from Matt, I developed the forging apron that I'm known for now. And Matt has one of the very first ones I built, and it's been a source of pride for me that it's been shown all over the world. And the Baltimore knife and sword apron has come to have a life of its own, and I have a lot of fun telling people about it all over the place.
glad we could show you a brief glimpse into this event that we have. This year's been really special because so many of the different things that we do have kind of come together to where we can actually use them. We've had the rolling mill here for a couple of years, and we've run some smaller ones, but we've never had enough power here to do it. So having the Nazel up and running, having the large rolling mill, and having Doug bring in a large smoker to make ribs for us was pretty fantastic.